Hey, how you doing? Darren again with my Week 12 predictions. Last week I didn't do too bad, 11-4, but there was a couple of upsets there that I wasn't expecting, at least two. Anyway, for this week, New Orleans and Atlanta on Thursday night. I don't think Atlanta stands a chance in hell. New Orleans just has too much offense for them. Take New Orleans. Sunday, 1 o'clock games. We have the New York Jets versus the Baltimore Ravens. The Jets have been playing really crappy under Geno, whereas the Ravens have been playing decent but not great. So this game is, it's an iffy game. It depends on which Geno shows up and which Baltimore Ravens team shows up. I'm giving the edge to Baltimore because it's in Baltimore. Other than that, it's a toss-up. It's a pick. Like I said, I'm going with the Ravens only because they're the home team. Pittsburgh at Cleveland. Cleveland's been surprisingly good this year. However, Roethlisberger the last 2 weeks has been on fire. Question is, can he keep it up? Cleveland has a really good defense, but Pittsburgh played a really good defense last weekend too, and won. I'm going to go out on a limb and take Pittsburgh in this game. Tampa Bay, Detroit. Tampa Bay's been starting to look decent. However, they're in too big of a hole to really worry about playing. I mean, seriously. There's no way they're going to make a playoff spot, even if they win every game from now to the end of the season. Whereas Detroit came off a really bad loss to Pittsburgh last week. Look for Detroit to rectify the loss and win this weekend at home. Minnesota, Green Bay. Here's another pick. It's without Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay is not the team that we all know. And Minnesota isn't anywhere near as good as they look on paper. I'm going to go with Green Bay because they're at home. Otherwise, again, this is a pick. Jacksonville, Houston. A game of the bottom dwellers. That doesn't matter. But Houston's defense is really good and Jacksonville's offense is really lousy. So, I'm going to go with the Texans. San Diego, KC. Probably the game of the week. San Diego has a high-octane offense, although Phillip Rivers hasn't shown it in the last 2 weeks, but they do. If Rivers is on his game, take San Diego. Otherwise, I'd take Kansas City because of their defense. I'm going to give the nod to this one. I'm going to go way out on a limb and go with the Chargers in this game. Don't ask me why. I just have a hunch. Carolina, Miami. Carolina is on fire. Cam Newton is just playing awesome football right now. I'm going with the Panthers. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, not to mention the fact that there's too much controversy going on in Miami right now. Chicago, St. Louis. The Rams, where did they come from? They came out of nowhere, and they're actually a playoff contender now. Whereas Chicago did the exact opposite and became lousy. I don't know what happened to their defense, but they were lucky to win that game last weekend. Now, the game is in St. Louis. I don't know. With Zach Stacy, if Tavon Austin can do what he did last weekend, and Zach Stacy can put up 100, 120 yards, I got to go with the Rams at home. So I'm taking the Rams at home. Indianapolis, Arizona. The Cards have been looking pretty good, but not good enough to beat the Colts. Take the Colts. Tennessee, Oakland. Oakland has been looking pretty good. Pretty consistent. They're putting points on the board. Their defense is starting to come around, whereas Tennessee is going the opposite direction. They're going downhill. Look for Oakland to win this one at home. Dallas and the Giants. The Giants have been playing better football. However, Dallas has been putting some pretty big numbers up on the board, and I don't think the Giants have the defense to stop them. I'm taking the Cowboys. Denver, New England. Two teams going in opposite directions. Denver going up, New England going down. Now, just because of the controversial call, you know I got to talk about it. Anybody looks at the video of the call, it should have been a pass interference call. Any other game, it would have been a pass interference call. New England would have won that game. Tom Brady had a reason to gripe. He should have griped, and I would have done the same thing because it was a no call or a non-call that should have been called. Yes, it got called, but the flag got picked back up. It should have never been picked back up. That should have been a pass interference, and New England should have went on to win that game. However, all said and done, New England has a decent offense. They have Gronk back. They have Vereen back. They have Amadeo back. There's no reason that they can't compete with Denver. But Denver just has too much offense. They have too many weapons, and now their defense is starting to look just as good as their offense. Look for Denver to crush New England. The Monday night game, San Francisco at Washington. Anybody who watched my last video knows I have no love for Colin Kaepernick whatsoever. I don't think that he deserved to get the shot that he got because he's not as good as everybody says he is. On the other hand, RG3 is pretty much the same thing. Yeah, last year he had a phenomenal year. Problem was he got hurt at the end of the year and he hasn't played as good since. Look for the Niners defense to win this game. It's not going to be their offense. The Niners defense is what's going to win this game. Thanks for watching. Hope you do well. See you next week.